On today's episode, we're going to review a Pixar classic, Monsters, Inc. And we're going to give it a grade, A through F plus as minus do count at the end of this review. And before I get started on the review for Monsters, Inc., if there's a review you want me to do, let me know. Please put in the comment section below and I get to it as best I can. I also have a Patreon, patreon.com/Ali Zakka. And for $2 a month, you get the cut in front of everybody to get your review out way before coming out on Facebook and YouTube. Now, let's go ahead and get in today's episode of 2020. Sorry. It's so weird to say this now, but 2001's Monster Inc. It's always weird to say 2001. I always want to say 2021, but no, 2001. Monster Inc. been out for over 20 years, which is wild to me. But this movie is a Pixar classic. It is a phenomenal movie. What is this movie about? Well, in the world of monsters have to scare kids to get power to power the city. Well, when one of the kids escapes into the monster world, monsters kind of panic because kids are considered dangerous. They're toxic. If a kid touches you as a monster, you have to get quarantined. You have to get just pretty much stripped down to your bare body and wear a dog collar around your neck. It is not a good time for monsters. And when Sully and Mike Wazowski finds a kid named Boo, they realize this kid's not dangerous, and actually maybe screams are not the most powerful thing that can power the city. And they gotta try to get Boo back home. That is the gist of Monsters, Inc. And this movie still hits. I mean, it is so good. I mean, Pixar, when they made this movie, they had the key. They had it in the bag, because this movie, I can't find a flaw in this movie. Go watch Monster Inc. and what would you say is bad about this movie? The animation is phenomenal. The comedy is good. The talking points, the dialogue is good. The story is good. The world building is good. Like, this movie is top tier gold. I'm literally trying to find a bad thing about this movie. You can say, well, this movie is an hour and 32 minutes long. It's not even a 2-hour movie, and it hits every single thing it needs to hit. It is so good. The music still, I watched the movie recently and the music still holds up. The music hits, and it's almost something, the movie is so good where, like, it's not openly telling you that Boo screams or Boo's laughter is it's stronger than her screams. The movie doesn't tell you that. You see it through action. Sully breaks it down through actions. He sees her laugh, he's like, well, that's weird. And then he sees her laugh again, he sees another energy surge. Then he sees her laugh again, he's like, hey, get Boo to laugh because she can power all the doors in here. It's not about the screams, it's about the laughter. And I genuinely love that. And then the villain's motivation, he wants to be the best monster in the movie. Randall wants to be the best top monster in the movie because they get rankings for how many times they scare kids, and Sully's the top dog. He is the Tom Brady of the Monsters Inc. world. Well, Randall's like, well, I don't like that. I'm Aaron Rodgers. I want to be better than Tom Brady, so I'm going to cheat. I'm going to have to deflate. I guess this is backwards. I'm doing a football analogy here. Pull the deflate gate on Tom Brady. That's funny. But anyway, pull the flake gate on Tom Brady. Follow me here. So Randall was trying to kidnap Boo to get extra screams, and then he made a machine that can just suck screams out, which is pretty much killing kids. Like, Randall's about to murder kids in this movie. I don't understand that we understand like how dark that part of the movie is. But Sully and Mike Wazowski saves Boo, they get her back, and then they kind of find out that the head owner of Monsters Incorporated, the big boss man, is actually the main villain, who he believes that, like, Monster Inc. gonna get ruined. We need kids. We need to cover all this up by Boo being out. In reality, no. Boo helped save the monster world and drive everybody's energy up 10 times more with laughter. So all monsters by the end of the movie becomes comedians. It's a phenomenal movie. I love this movie. I can't think of a bad thing about this movie. I've watched this movie. It's not a nostalgia kick either, because I've seen this movie when I was a kid. But there's some things like Power Rangers, for example. You go back and rewatch as an adult and you're like, this does not hold up at all. But like Pixar, from Monsters Inc.'s Finding Nemo to The Incredibles, like those three movies hit so hard. And I haven't reviewed Finding Nemo yet, but I reviewed Monsters Inc. and I reviewed Incredibles, and those movies hit so hard that like it just find the flaw in those movies, and it's super hard to do when you watch a writing crew give so much care and so much dedication and so much work into it, and watch the animator put so much work into it, and have the movement, have the hair slowly moves a certain way, his hair shifts a certain way, something that back then they was thinking about but they wasn't thinking about. Like Toy Story, the characters look stiff in the 90s. They do look stiff at certain points. And in Monsters Inc., when they move a certain way, when Sully shakes, his hair follicle shakes. When he gets hit with a ball of ice, a snow, the patch of snow is still left on him. Like the little touch of detail this movie does for characters, it is so good. So good. This movie's phenomenal. Phenomenal movie. I'm gonna stop gushing about it. All right, we're moving on. So the cast and details and whatnot. Monster Inc. came out in 2001. It's rated G. Is an hour and 32 minutes movie. That's all it is. It's not 2 hours. It's an hour and 32 minutes long. The director is Pete Docter. I think he did Up. David Silverman and Lee Unkich is the directors. The writer is Pete Docter, Julie Colton, and Jeff Pigeons. I need to see who Pete Docter is. I'm pretty sure Pete Docter did Up. If I'm not, I know my Pixar stuff. Get at me. He did Up. He did Wall-E. He done Inside Out. He done Soul. Get at me. Anyway, back to it. The movie has had a budget of $115 million estimated and gross worldwide $579 million. So they got their money back, hands down. The cast in this movie, you have Billy Crystal, who played Mike Wazowski. I thought he was fine. I thought he was great. When I look at Mike, I don't see anybody else but Billy Crystal's voice. He is the more serious of the group. Like Mike Wazowski is kind of like the best friend of Sully, also his coach and his caddy if you play golf. But he is kind of like dragged into this. Mike wasn't trying to be. He's a ladies' man, and he's just trying to live his life, live his best thing, and Sully kind of drags him into all this. John Goodman, who is phenomenal, who plays Sully, amazing. Just John Goodman is good from Pacha to any movie he's in. He is a phenomenal character and a phenomenal actor, and he gives that southern soothing voice. I think he's blue as well in the Jungle Book, but he gives that really calming voice to Sully, and Sully's a smart character too. That's one thing I love about this movie. You have your main protagonist is a smart character who not too big for his britches. He's a humble guy. He just want to do the right thing, and you don't see many movies where the dude is winning. Sully is winning. He's the top dog. Like I said, he's Tom Brady of this world. And he is humble, calm, doesn't take himself too seriously. He wakes up in the morning, works out. He gets coached by Mike. Like, he is just a chill, cool dude who is just a dude. He's just a dude who just be good at his job. That is something that you don't see in most movies, because most of the time the movies are the character is struggling and trying to come to the top, or they're already super at the top, but they're also super cocky and egotistical, and they gotta get brought down some. No, Sully is just there. I love it. Mary Gibbs, who played Boo, phenomenal kid voice, works perfectly. Steve Buscemi, I didn't know that was Steve Buscemi. He plays Randall. Perfect villain. Randall's like a lizard creature, kind of like monster. He is a chameleon as well, and he's just a really bad dude. You just don't like him. You don't like him from the jump. And he does one of my favorite lines in the movie. You hear that? Shh, hear that? That's the wind of change. I hit one of my favorite lines in the movie, but he's just a good dude, just a villain. James Corbin, who played Mr. Waternoose, he is the CEO. He is like the owner of Monster Incorporated. He is pretty much the plot twist of the movie. He's the bad guy. And you're like, really? You're the bad guy as well? But he wants to save the business, and he want to keep Monster Inc. Incorporated in the top. He don't care what it takes to do that. He will steal screens if he had to. He's just a villain who's like a plot twist to make sure that Randall, who is not the top dog, make sure they get funded to get his projects off the ground. Then Jennifer Tilly, who plays Celia, she's fine. Cool character. Cool. All right, that's pretty much the main cast of this movie. Any other thoughts? Music is solid. I love the music in this movie. Just phenomenal music. The ending is, I love cliffhanger endings like this. So Boo gets returned back home. They shut her doors. I mean, nobody can go back to her room. The door's been destroyed. And at the end of the movie, Mike puts the door together. He finds all the pieces and puts the door together and let Sully see Boo one last time on like a year anniversary or 2-year anniversary, whatever the case may be. And Sully's now the owner of Monster Incorporated now at the end of the movie. And as you open the door, you just hear Kitty. Because that's what Boo called Sully. She called him Kitty all the time. And Sully has a look of relief when he opens the door and he kind of like, and that ending, the movie cuts on that scene. In that ending, just like how Iron Giant, where Hogarth lets the piece of the screw of the Iron Giant out into the door, out into wilderness, and it goes all the way to like Antarctica to get the Iron Giant put together again, and Iron Giant opens his eyes. It's the same ending where you're like, it ends on a good note, but you don't need to say more. I just love endings like that, and those movies sit with me more versus the ending where somebody just like, yeah, freeze frame or shake their head or something like that. It was just like you would kind of want to know what's going to happen next, but you don't need to know what happens next. And I just love that kind of ending. It was phenomenal. It's a great ending. Animation solid. I already talked about that. Casting great. All right. Is this a Friday night movie? Yes, it's a Friday night movie. Watch your friends and family. I think everybody's going to enjoy this one, from friends to family. Everybody, you want to have a Pixar night, this is one of the ones you put on. And grading time. I'm going to grade Monster Incorporated, Monster Inc. from the year 2001. I'm going to give this movie an A+. It's an A+ for me. Yes, 100%. I know, right? IMDb gives this movie an 8.1 out of 10 as a B-. And Rotten Tomatoes give this movie a 96% from the critics. That is an A. And the audience gives this movie, they better give it higher, if not just a 90%. The audience, you guys are fools. An A-. No, I'm playing it. But I give it 100%. It is that dang good. Monster Incorporated is phenomenal. A family movie for everybody. I don't see anything wrong with it. An hour and 32 minutes. The movie flows. The world building in this movie is solid. It's another thing I didn't really talk about earlier. But the world building in this movie is solid. You know where you're at. You know what's going on. You know how people live next to each other. It is phenomenal. It takes you all over the place. Just a great movie. Loved it. A+ for Monster Incorporated. If you've seen Monster Inc., what did you think? Please put in the comment section below. Other than that, see you guys next episode of Movie Breakdowns, and keep being awesome. Thank you so much for making it to the end of this video. I really appreciate that. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. If there's a review you want me to watch or do, let me know. Please put it in the comment section below this video. Also, you want to watch the last episode of Movie Breakdowns, it's right there. Just gotta click on it and you'll be able to watch it. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Love y'all, and keep being awesome.